Guys, this weekend at UFC 291, a new BMF will be crowned, and my partners at DraftKings are offering an incredible deal for all new customers who sign up using the promo code SONNEN. New customers, bet just $5 on any of this weekend's fights and receive $150 in bonus bets instantly. You can even use your bonus bets on DraftKings same fight parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same fight, including number of rounds and method of victory. Remember, DraftKings is the only place where you can bet same fight parlays. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy. So click on the link below and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Remember, new customers, use the code SONNEN and bet just $5 on any wager to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code SONNEN only at DraftKings. What do you expect in the fight with Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier? Like, what do you expect to happen? I expect two guys that are going to bludgeon each other. I expect two guys with very good wrestling, and don't tell me that Dustin didn't used to be a wrestler. Dustin has wrestled every day of his life with some of the best coaches, such as Steve Mocco, for the last 15 years. And I expect them to use none of it. I expect these two guys, who I assume have black belts in jiu-jitsu at this point, to use none of it. I expect them to go out and pick up where they left off all those years ago with an absolute bludgeoning. I expect Gaethje to be leg kick heavy. I expect Dustin to be Western boxing heavy. Shots to the body, everything in combinations, neither guy backing down, display of heart, display of conditioning. I mean, I could throw out these buzzwords, but that's what I expect. What do you think? And by the way, there's time. There's time, right, guys? But there's not a lot. And I feel as though it would be very helpful. Remember when I used to do the whiteboard? I feel as though if I had the whiteboard and I just laid out the fight week schedule for you, I think it would be very helpful. Like, here's an example. Tuesday is travel day. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. Doesn't matter if you happen to live there, it's your hometown, that's the day that you'll report to the hotel, where there's a operations point set up. You see the signing of the posters and things like this. Bout agreements, paperwork, commissions will come there. Generally, there's a scale, workout rooms. So even if you live nearby, you'll come and check into the hotel. If you live in Japan and you got to fly 18 hours, you'll do it on Tuesday. Okay. So Wednesday, you'll get up, and a lot of times there's media. A lot of times there's personal one-on-ones. You're a feature bout. Maybe you're a main event or a co-main event. They'll have a lot of things for you to do. Thursday is where everybody that's invited will go do either a press conference, or more regularly, they've been doing what's called a media scrum. Friday, the only thing that you need to do is to make weight. The second you get off the scale, nothing will be asked of you again. No media, no matter how big, no matter the opportunity, nothing will be put on your schedule on Friday except making weight. Saturday, same thing goes, except for the fight. Sunday, get you the hell out of town. Get a day to recover on Monday and bring the next crew in on Tuesday. I mean, but this is fight week, and it's important that you know that. It's important that you know that from a perspective. If we're going to sit here and guess what's on this fight, that revelation won't be made to us per the schedule until Thursday. That's when the media will be. There's no likelihood, of course it's possible, there's no likelihood that you're going to hear from Dana White specifically until Thursday. You might not then if they go the scrum route. This is a big enough fight with the BMF. I predict they will do a standard press conference. But my point being, I believe Dustin and Justin are going to come after Islam. I believe that. I've already felt it starting with Justin. And I very much would like to hear from Dustin. Do you want to know why I make such a big deal about that? Not to promise you guys that this becomes a number one contenders match, and not to promise you guys that they can't count on Oliveira, who told us 3 times he's not going to do the fight, and 1 time that he is. It's none of those things. It's if they want it. Gaethje has made it clear that he wants it. Okay, well, now you're speaking to a mindset, right? Everybody is done at some point. Everybody fires their last bullet. Oh, by the way, when they're done and they know that they're done and the training tells them they're done, they will walk out there and get one last paycheck. Everybody. So to hear Gaethje talking about wanting to compete with Islam is a really big deal, knowing he's got to beat Poirier to do it. And I haven't heard that from Poirier yet. I could only assume that it's so, but I don't want to say it is until I hear it from him. And it's a big deal. It's a big deal if you're looking at this and you feel I've got to win. I've got to win, not just for tonight, not just for the ego and the pride. I've got to win to set up my next move, to set up the one that I really want, to set up the big one, to set up the one that we came for, mama. It's a big deal. And we know that we can check that box for Gaethje. And as I do talk about Islam and Charles, it's a surprise match for me. The whole thing has been a bit of a surprise for me. We were told by Charles' cornerman, okay, Lima, who's never come out and spoofed us before. That's just not what he does. But we were told after the fight, Charles versus Volkanovski, that the UFC offered Charles an immediate rematch. Now, that's very compelling to me, because by the time the UFC would have got to Charles to offer them that, we already would have seen the face-off between Volkanovski and Islam. So if Lima's information is accurate, which also means that the reporter that gave us the information got it accurately, but if we're going to operate on that, that would mean the UFC wanted Charles and Islam so bad they were willing to run back the organic face-off. $5 million worth of marketing is what it would cost you to create a moment and an emotion with your absolute peer market group that they had. They were going to throw it all away, according to Lima, and do the rematch. And one of the reasons that was so surprising for me is there was nothing about that match that was competitive. There was nothing that said, hey, let's do a rematch. Hey, if this position didn't happen, hey, if more of that would have happened, there was nothing you could hang your hat on. So I found it to be a surprise. But here we are with Charles telling the world 3 different times I don't want to fight him, and he's going to go book to fight him. Which does lean to the idea of what Coach Lima was talking about. This is really a match that the UFC wants. And Charles was speaking on it, and he just said, look, that wasn't me that night. That wasn't me. I didn't show up. And the it wasn't me, I didn't show up is real. I've been there. All athletes have been there. The other side of that is, you know that's within you, and you never know when that guy's leaving town. You never know when the you want to show shows. It's just you cross your fingers and hope, and you never know when this demon is going to show up, and you go, oh my God, where'd my courage go? It's one of these things. And when Charles does talk about it wasn't me, I'll be better next time, that will be me. We needed just a little bit of a specific. A little bit of a specific. I didn't close the gap enough. I led with my jab. I should have led with my cross. Just for example, I went orthodox the whole time. I should have gone southpaw. That gives him a problem. That's what Volk did so well. Whatever it is, we'll listen. But people will always want to tell you this sport is mental. That's just to sell books on Amazon. The sport's physical. 80% of the sport is mental. 20% is physical. That's a nice and clever thing to say, particularly 30 years ago when it was said for the very first time and I was 8 years old. It's not true. It's physical. It's all physical. There is no judge. There is no referee anywhere that will give you a point under the 10-9 must system. There is no referee anywhere that will stop a fight via TKO, issue you a KO, call a submission over something you did mentally. You're going to have to physically do it. It's a fun thing to tell kids, so this is 80% mental. It's a fun thing to tell people. And you sound like a smart guy in the room. You're lying. You're lying to the kids, and you're lying to yourself if you think it's true. This is physical. Are you in shape? Do you have the strength? Do you possess the skills? It's the only thing the referee and the judges are going to be looking for. He does not care what confidence you have. He doesn't care what's burning inside of you. He doesn't care about your desire. There is nowhere within the unified rules to give you credit for that, let alone to even assess it in the first place. It is not 80% mental, guys. It is 80% physical. There is a mental side. I will agree to that. It's not 80%. The mental is the smaller one. It's the 20. Charles is attempting to present this, that he didn't feel well, and he's going to come out and feel better. I'm interested. I'm interested in Charles. I want to hear from him. I made a deal with Gabriel Checo. I will never speak ill of Charles. But I'm just trying to observe this situation. And if you're in a BMF, in a feature bout, and you're about to go in front of the media, and you got a sold-out arena in front of you, this is the time to get the opportunity that this guy over here 3 times said he doesn't want.